Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, September 1st, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I allow myself to be guided holistically. And today we have full moon energy moving in, moving through. The full moon will happen at 10:22 p.m. Pacific time. So for some people it's on the 1st, for some people it's on the 2nd. But regardless, you will be feeling this energy moving in. Now, that being said, Pisces is potentially the sleepiest full moon because Pisces energy in and of itself is daydreamy and nappy and wants to go into meditative or esoteric induced states. So we do have that working for us. That being said, this full moon is also being influenced by Uranus. So even though a Pisces moon can be a little sleepier, Uranus is keeping us on our toes. Now I'm so excited about the energy with this. I actually want to start with the Sabian symbol for this full moon, because I have so many places, just like Pisces. I have so many places that I want to swim off to. So the Sabian symbol for this full moon at 10 degrees is an aviator pursues his journey, flying through ground obscuring clouds. And that is so perfect for the energies we're in right now and even for that Pisces influence. So in the energy we are in right now, just on the earth, one of the things I keep bringing up is how there are so many storylines flying around about what's going on. There's so many perspectives, and there's a lot of people fighting about said perspectives. I have said that from my perspective, that I believe there's a lot of pieces of truth being fleshed out with stories, basically. And so our work is like, okay, aligning with what feels right. Now, this is so interesting with this Virgo Pisces energy. Sun in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, Moon in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces. These oppositions that we've got going on right now. Oppositions that can either stretch us or we can end up in a tug of war, push and pull energies. The Sabian symbol, flying upward through the ground obscuring clouds. There are so many illusions out there right now. So many. And I'm not saying one path is right and one path is wrong. Like I said, I feel like multiple paths have pieces of truth. But our work is to move through these ground obscuring clouds, to move through these illusions, to find where that resonance is. And in this, we need to use the logic and the grounding reality of Virgo energy. Do you see what's happening in the 3D landscape to ourselves, to our fellow humans? And then also connecting with that higher perspective, the oneness perspective of Pisces energy, the esoteric nature, the spiritual guidance as well, to help pull us through these ground obscuring clouds. So this is really, really very powerful work, very powerful energy for us to be engaging in. Now, we want to approach these things holistically. I have my holistic card. I have my participation card. This is the card I always consider. Body, mind, spirit, soul, heart. If you approach what's going on with just your mind, you will have one perspective of things. If you approach it with just your heart, you will have another perspective. When you can approach these energies that we are all moving through, from the body, mind, spirit, soul, heart connection, from this oneness inside yourself, that is where we can feel the resonance with those pieces of truth, and we can allow those pieces of truth to help us move accordingly and not get sucked in to one of these particular storylines that can ultimately pull the rug out from underneath us. So many people's trauma, So many people's deep wounds are being triggered by this, and of course, that's a recipe for healing. But when we get too caught up in the conversation and we don't approach things holistically, we don't go to, oh, I need healing in this, then we create some major whirlpools. So being aware of that, we want to fly upwards. That's the Uranus part in all of this. Uranus is pledged to our personal evolution process. Has pledged itself to revolution. It will make us uncomfortable, but it is all in the name of change. It is all in the name of getting there, you know? And so Uranus as a piece of this is like, I'm going to continue to make you uncomfortable so that you can move through these illusions, so that you can move through these clouds, so that you can get off the ground into your next best self. So powerful, powerful energies. Now through this, again, I want to remind you, as humans, we may not act like this, but we all are ultimately on the same team. I have started reading on Kindle this book called, what is it? Sorry, brains. Initiated by Amanda Yates Garcia. And I'm just beginning it. And there's a beautiful quote in here about the magic energy. And that's part of this Pisces that we need to tune into. And it's basically talking about the conditioning that we've been in and how the conditioning tries to censor us and separate us. And so basically the quote is, we are encouraged to see ourselves as separate and in competition with others. But magic is about connection, collaboration. Magic is the process of, trying to read my handwriting, magic is the process of bringing things together. I think that's what I have written there. Bringing things together. Magic is about love. And we want to remember this in the Pisces full moon energy, because Pisces reminds us to call in that oneness, to call in that magic, to call in those miracles to the real world, to the real world, to the 3D landscape, to the physical landscape, to work together, to work in harmony. Even if you're not in harmony with the others, to connect with that. Tosha Silver posted on Instagram, her process for this Pisces moon is that she was guided, spiritually guided, to write down the names of anyone that she's holding resentment or unforgiveness about, and then shred it in that. And I plan on doing that for sure in this energy. Release those energies as much as possible to reconnect to the universe, reconnect to the ultimate oneness there is. That doesn't mean that you aren't going to have arguments and that people are going to necessarily be on the same page as you. I think we're still going to continue with all of that, and yet we can each do our own part to shift in these energies. So it is a potent and powerful full moon that we can fully utilize to release and then to call in this energy again to help propel us through these clouds. All right, so let me get into some of the nitty-gritty of the day before we reach that full moon energy. Again, that's 10:22 p.m. Pacific time. We have the moon shifting into Pisces early in the morning, 2:34 a.m. Pacific time. And again, Pisces moon can have a sleepy / daydreamy quality to it. So if you are called into your imagination landscape, please, if you have the time, do go there and see what's coming up in that space. See what's coming up from your intuition, from your guides, from those energies. Mercury connecting to Pluto early in the morning. Watch your dreams. Your dreams may also give you a hint about some energies to release. Like I said, we're heading into this Mars retrograde, and I do think aggression and other things are going to be brought to the surface that have been tucked under layers for so long. That is going to be brought to the surface with this Mars retrograde. So this Mercury-Pluto connection may give you a taste of that. And it, again, may give you an area where you're being called to release from that, soul oneness layer. Okay, I realize this is part of our human process. I realize this is part of our human contract. I forgive, I release. I cut these cords, you know? That kind of energy. So that Mercury-Pluto energy may give you a taste of that. And then we really don't have anything much going on through the day. Again, it's just kind of sleepy. Try not to overdo. Use your imagination landscape. I always like to say with Pisces energy, use your illusion. You know, there is power in those energies. As we can see with multiple storylines going on in the world right now, there are others who are using the illusion. How are you going to do that? Anyway, and like I said, full moon, 10:22 p.m., and then we have that alignment with Uranus. You may feel sleepy through most of the day, and then when the full moon comes, you may feel more lit up and awake and alive, and use that too. Whatever your spiritual process, whether it's dancing, lighting fire, pulling cards, writing intentions, whatever that is, use this. Pisces moon is full moon is so magical. One of the most magical full moons, I believe. So we really do want to utilize that. Utilize that and utilize our daydream. Besides that, I do have very strong mental energies. I've been pulling so many of these cards lately. So watch out for the mental process. And the mental process coming up throughout the day, these may all be signs of what you do need to release in this energy. So you can get through, again, these clouds, these obscuring clouds. So be aware of the burden of overthinking in and through this. And speaking of overthinking, the Sun and Uranus are building to a trine that'll be on Wednesday, and that energy is very strongly mental, very electrical. So again, you may find your wake up happening after the full moon energy, rather than the usual full moon hangover. Anyway, that is it for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and stay curious. Namaste.